Hi there, welcome to another episode of Campfire Kitchen. Today we're going to make a fruit crumble with rhubarb, and while we're doing that we'll put a pumpkin on the fire and turn that into some magic. So come along over to the fire, let's get started. Okay, the fire's looking good, nice and hot. It's always better to have a hot fire that you can move things away from, but if you have it really hot, it works better. Okay, now I'm going to put the pumpkin in to the camp oven to get started. I'm just going to spray it with a bit of vinegar. You can use water, vinegar, just about anything, just to get that steam going. And this can also just go into your oven, just standing up or however it goes in. The main thing is to soften it up into the oven, and we're going to use the whole pumpkin. Everything but the little top stem, and I mean everything. And you're going to love it. Okay, let's get started with the apple rhubarb crumble. You can use pretty much anything in season. Strawberry and rhubarb is always a favorite, and mainly using plenty of honey and sugar, and everybody's gonna like it. So I'll just cut up a couple of apples here, and there's not a whole big problem with peeling and seeds for lemons and apples because, I mean, we're camping, so nobody worries about it. Enjoying another beautiful day at the campfire. Whether it's big chunks, little chunks, it doesn't matter. It's just so it absorbs plenty of your liquid and it all kind of crumbles down anyway. Okay, we'll just slide the apples down into here, and we'll squeeze it with a bit of lemon. If you have oranges or any kind of juice, really, it's just to get some liquid going. There's so much liquid in the apples anyway. And then I've got some fresh rhubarb here from the garden, and definitely take the leaves off because you don't want to eat rhubarb leaves. Apparently they are poisonous. Okay. Stir that up. And some more lemon juice. And then we're going to add some cinnamon and a bit of honey. There we go. Sugar, brown sugar, raw sugar, just sugar. The whole idea is using what you have when you're cooking, especially out camping. Rather than necessarily following a recipe, the main thing is to see what you have and then put things together nice and easy. Okay, and I'm just going to add a pinch of sea salt, and I'll get some few spices that are floating around, some little allspice, some cinnamon, and a bit of nutmeg. If you like it spicy, you know, don't be afraid to add a bit of chili too, because it really adds to a flavor. Okay, just mix that up nicely, and even a little bit of olive oil, it adds some nice flavor. But again, you don't need to add too much of anything, and the taste stays subtle. And that's ready to go into the camp oven. Let that cook for a little while, and we'll get on to the base of the crumble. Okay, now we'll get this into the camp oven, get that cooking. And I like to keep the camp oven on the fire, and then you always have a hot oven. So make sure you have plenty of good gloves around so you do not burn yourself. That just goes right in. And we'll let that simmer on the fire while we make the crumble for the fruit crumble. While I'm at it, I'll just have a check of the pumpkin. And just give it a turn. It's starting to get a bit browned, so then it's just turning it and it's steaming away. Nice and easy. For the crumble bit, we're going to use some flour, some sugar, some olive oil. You can use butter instead. Out in the bush, I always find it's easier to carry olive oil than butter. So that's what we have today. And then I don't have any baking powder, but you might use just a teaspoon of baking powder as well if you have it. So you can tell I don't really measure. It's one less thing to clean, a measuring cup. But we put in some flour and some sugar, about 1 to 1, give or take. Stir that around a bit. Okay, and that's mixed up, and then pour some olive oil in. What we want basically is a crust. And it's not a fancy pastry crust, but just an easy campfire crumble crust. So it becomes crumbly, thus the word a crumble. Oh, beautiful. And you can see how that just gets crumbly. And now we're going to put this into a warmed up camp oven, line the base, and that can just cook nice and easy, just kind of a pre-cook so that it gets done, saving a little bit for the top to cover over the fruit. So let's go get the camp oven, and while we're over there, we'll take a look at the apple rhubarb mix.